Hi guys, so today we're going to start with another mystical Shaman Oracle, and we have number 60 with the Vision Quest. And the essence says, in the Vision Quest you face your fear, embrace your mortality, and then meet face to face with Spirit. When we feel stagnant, a Vision Quest brings our lives into perspective. We realize our flaws, our potential, and the opportunities life is now offering us. We remain on a Vision Quest until we find the key to open a new door or write a new chapter in our lives. And the invitation says, find clarity by spending time alone in nature. If you live in a city, go for walks in a park. If you live in the country, make sure that you spend time outside and in contemplation. Get off the couch, get away from your desk, and go outside. Spirit helps those who help themselves. So set your intention and ask nature for a guiding vision for your life. Okay, and so then the card underneath of it, I think I cut it off, I don't know, is signs, and that's from the Liminal Forrest Oracle. And I feel like this is saying that you're being sent signs. We're being asked to kind of look at that connection with nature and with spirit. And if we look at the first column, we have the Queen of Pentacles, who is a very stable and nurturing queen. She's also very connected to nature, being an earthy sign. So with that, I feel like this is saying, right now, because that column is where we're at right now. I think this is saying that we're, able to kind of connect with nature. And with the Two of Pentacles, there's like this balance between earthly and spirit. Because with the Queen of Pentacles, she's very grounded, and she's very nurturing at the same time, but she's also very spiritual with connecting with spirit. And I feel like we're kind of at this time where we're kind of blending the two things. And then my second column is what we kind of need to work on, what is our focus? And we have the Hermit and we have Temperance. So the Hermit's kind of emphasizing that vision quest and the understanding and contemplating the inner self and the signs, right? So I feel like that's saying, really kind of sit within and get that part of understanding. So I feel like we all kind of been doing this a little bit. And then with Temperance, this is kind of like alchemizing that, looking at the things. Now Temperance, there's water in Temperance. So it's kind of like taking those inner knowings and those wisdoms and the things that we've kind of learned through these things and kind of seeing how it feels, right? Sitting with those emotions and those feelings and the things that they bring up, understanding how our inner currency works, and when I say currency, I current with a T, so understanding how that flow works. And then when water moves, water creates electricity, right? Like it's movement of water is like creating energy. So I feel like that's kind of what this is saying too. We're moving those feelings in a different way. Kind of like imagine that like your emotions and your feelings and the sensations that you feel are literally like an energy ball. So if you're moving that back and forth, sometimes that energy can be released and gained back. So you're kind of transforming it into something. But if you kind of have to do that kind of thing slowly, right? With Temperance, we're kind of being told to temper ourselves a little bit, slow down and kind of not rush things. And then we have the Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups in the area or column of things that we have around us to use, right? What we can kind of adapt to, our energy, other people around us as energy, collaborations, energies within and without, astrological energy, skills you've learned, lessons you've learned, all that kind of stuff. So the Three of Cups to me is very celebrating the connections, celebrating those type of things, those joyous things with others, right? It's really about expressing and connecting and celebrating those expressions and connections. And then the Queen of Cups is all about, being empathetic and intuitive. And she's a very deep feeler. Sometimes with her, she does have a tendency to be a little too taking on other people's emotions and being a little bit more empathetic. But sometimes that's needed. I always kind of give her a bad rap for that. But at the same time, we are kind of in our Queen of Pentacles and we have the Queen of Swords over there. So there's kind of a balance there. Again, balance and temperance and all these things that we're always being told to do. But I feel like with the Three of Cups, this is saying to nurture those relationships, nurturing those types of celebrations and those gatherings and those collective consciousness type of feelings, right? Those things that we're learning in our hermit mode, what they mean and how they feel, and those responses and our reactions, so we can kind of really fine tune our intuition. And a lot of that is how we respond to other people, how other people respond to us, how our connections affect things inside and out, right? And then our last column is, of course, the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords, which I thought was kind of interesting. The Knight of Swords sometimes can be real quick and quick-witted, but he's also very direct. And I feel like this is kind of where we're at here. So this is a very balanced energy. There's not a lot of Wands energy, but I feel like in the movement of all these things, there's a little bit of that. The fire is actually in the Knight himself, because the Knights have some of that actionary type of emotions to them. They have, or emotions, I should say, their movement. So I feel like what this is saying is, kind of acting on those things. So the Queen of Swords is very direct, and sometimes she seems cold, but I feel like with all the stuff that we have going on around us, I don't think that we're able to be cold. I feel like there's a good balance of all of that, and we're kind of being asked to act on these epiphanies, these wisdoms, these understandings that we have. And while we're sitting there with our emotions and sitting with our reactions and those things that we're learning in that hermit phase, right, we're understanding how to transform that, how to temper those, but also how to, blend them, like the Two of Coins. Yeah, I say coins sometimes, but, and then, with others and all this, water that we have here and these kind of flow emotions, I feel like it's very hard for us to be stiff and, dry. But I feel like what this is saying is we're going to be able to kind of have that clarity and be able to put that into action. And so the last two cards I have my Moonology Oracle, and that one is, I just got this one the other day. So maybe there's somebody who has a North Node, strong North Node, and I think North Node's in Pisces right now. So if that's something that means a lot to you, maybe that's something that's resonating. But it's also about, come out of your comfort zone. I said before that when we talk about the nodes, the South Node is supposed to be, where you've been before, what you've kind of already mastered in a way. My South Node is in Aquarius, and I have a lot of Aquarius in places like that. Like my MC is in Aquarius, and I feel like I kind of embody that part a little bit. And you're not supposed to get rid of that part of you. You're supposed to, again, temper that into your North Node part, which my North Node is Leo. So, really kind of integrating these things into, the other aspect to kind of make a whole aspect that kind of works for who you are. And again, it's very action based. This is kind of giving me like, balancing that whole knowledge and that temperedness and the kind of slowed down assessing what these emotions and our feelings and our nervous system type of reactions, what they mean, and putting them into action. And then the last card I have is Emerald, which is ceremonies and celebration. It's a time of important life passages such as weddings, birthdays, graduations, or anniversaries. But it's also, I feel like too, we're at a point where I think we're kind of being asked to celebrate who we are, right? Because, for a long time, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that feels this way. I feel like in society, there was kind of like this big sheet over all of us where we were kind of like, oh, we can't do that because it's not practical. Oh, you can't do that because, this is how it's been for so many years. Or, oh, that's not, what you should be doing, whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, this says that, I'm not right unless I, work really hard and hate my life. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's part of it too. Is it's saying, celebrating and those connections and the things in our life, these milestones in our life, which are, places where we've gotten. After we start kind of going on a journey and we kind of get these aha moments, take a little bit of time and celebrate that and really sit with that and use that towards your action into the next part. I hope this helps somebody today, and I thank you guys so much. And anybody who has gotten a personal reading from me on my Buy Me a Coffee link, I'm working on things. I got way too excited and started this way before I had a busy week at work, but I am going to kind of time management and make sure that I can get these things underway, and it's kind of like a trial thing to see how good I do at this, just because adding some stuff to my plate isn't always a good idea for me, but it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Anyways, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.